Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fourth week of our project management program on Fluval. It's a pleasure that you are still on track, and I'm looking forward to go into the last couple of weeks together with you. Just as a reminder, we defined in the first week that a project, the roadmap for a successful project has 4 steps. The planning, the definition, the planning, the implementation, the final phase. We are now still in the planning of the project. Since last week, we discussed about the planning and we identified that planning phase has 8 steps. As we discussed about the project structure plan, the project flow plan, and the project schedule last week, we continue now with the capacity planning. Capacity planning is an important part of the project because it's nice to have planned a project, but and we know the task to do. But now we need people or machines or companies to work on the simple tasks and phases of the project. Therefore, we need to plan the capacities we need. How to do this? It's quite simple. We can work on the Gantt chart with another column, or we can do it step by step. What is important as a first step? We start again with our identified tasks and phases of the project. We need to estimate the workload of every task and phase in hours, days, month, whatever. And you see it varies whether you have a small project or a big project, whether you are just implementing a new product in a hotel or whether you will construct a whole hotel or a new touristic product or whether you are planning the next Olympics. That's maybe a 10-year project. To create a new hotel is maybe a 2-year project. So there's a big variation in the quantity. Now, next step is that you will have to identify who has to do this. If we talk about the setting up of sales and marketing, we need some specialists for marketing. Doesn't work out typically if we take the bookkeeper to set up the sales. But other tasks can be done by various people. It's important to identify who has or you can do this. So eventually you have alternatives. And very important is you have to identify critical elements. What are critical elements? Critical elements are the points that could crash down. So for example, somebody is overloaded with work. Okay, we can say to this person, okay, you during this phase you have to work in overtime. But if this is especially the high season in the hotel or maybe Christmas season in the Western world wherein everybody wants to be back with the family, you do not create the big motivation if you give somebody over workload in this phase. So we need to identify these elements and think about how to change this. Maybe you can put this work or this task to another person, change the dates, put it aside, ahead, or postpone it. That are variations. One example to the Gantt chart you have from my hotel Fantasia in Switzerland. Maybe you have realized that during Christmas time we work on excavations, which is not very useful. Because Christmas time in Switzerland, nobody is working from a construction company. So this is nice to plan like this, but it will never work out. Now, what you have to do, you have to go back, think again about what you can change. And now you see this Gantt chart is very useful. I just can move forward or back these bars and see whether it works out in the whole project. Can I parallelize some more phases, or do I have to apply for an enlargement of the project phase? Various things can happen, and it depends on how you solve the problem. So just think about these things, read the chapter in the textbook, and maybe you try to go for a capacity planning on your case study of your hotel. Looking forward to hear from you, and see you on the next video. Bye bye.